Hello, my name is Javon Ford, and today I will be presenting the iodine clock reaction. Now, this reaction demonstrates chemical kinetics and more specifically, rates of reaction. Okay, for this experiment, we will need two beakers, start solution, sodium iodate, sodium sulfite, and citric acid, as well as water, 2 cups, teaspoons, and stirrers. Okay, so first, arrange your lab in this sort of manner with these chemicals in this set order. This makes it easier for us to grab them and place them in the appropriate containers. Okay, so first thing first, take the 2 beakers and add 20 milliliters of water to each. Okay. When measuring out chemicals, it is important to make sure you have eye level with the point where you want to measure it to. And you pour to the meniscus, which is always the small curve at the bottom of the line. Okay, next we add 1 small scoop of sodium iodate to the beaker.
Beautiful.
Stir. Now it may take a second for it to stir, and if it does not stir after a few seconds, take the small spoon and beat it. Until it is fully dissolved in the water. Now, it is essential that the solution is clear and homogeneous, meaning it is evenly distributed, where you see no signs of sodium iodate and it is invisible. Next, we take the second beaker and add half a small scoop of sodium sulfite. And 2 small scoops of citric acid. And we stir. Remember to remain patient. Next, we add 4 to 5 drops of starch solution. And stir. Next, add 1 teaspoon of clock A to the cup. And add 1 teaspoon of clock B. Start to count slowly and slowly swirl. And for this, I will use a stopwatch. Continue to watch the cup, or you continue to count or monitor the stopwatch. The solution should start to turn dark, okay? Now stop the stopwatch.
Total time 36.24 seconds.
And keep note of the time. Note, if it took more than 30 seconds to turn colors, add half a teaspoon of sodium iodide to clock A. To make a stronger or more concentrated solution. And that concludes this experiment. Thank you. Hello and welcome back. Now for experiment 2, we are going to make what is called a decolorizer. Now the solution we prepared in part 1 contains iodine, which can stain clothing and even stains the cup. So to make this into a safer, more disposable solution, we are going to convert the iodine into what is called iodide, the anion version of iodine, which contains an extra electron. So in order to do this, we simply add 1 or 2 crystals of sodium thiosulfate. And deposit that into the brown solution from part 1. And eventually, the solution should become colorless upon reacting with the sodium thiosulfate. As you can see, it's slowly becoming transparent. And if it does not, you can also add another crystal. Sodium thiosulfate is also known as hypo, and it's used in photography as a fixer to dissolve silver salts on black and white film. Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to do a magic show. And to help me and to assist me with the show, I have brought in my assistant, Kelsey. Now we are going to make a solution disappear. Now to perform this, you take clock A and clock B from experiments 1 and 2, and you pour it into a plastic cup. We're only pouring half because we will eventually reuse these solutions. Next, we are going to take sodium thiosulfate and add 3 crystals of this to a third plastic cup. Then we will add 3 teaspoons of water to the crystals. Next, we stir. Until the crystals are fully dissolved in the water. Your friends will simply be amazed at how quickly the crystals dissolve in the water. Isn't that fascinating, Kelsey? Watch it. It's slowly disappearing. It's not magic, though. It's chemistry. And your friend will understand that even like chemistry, magic takes time. Once that's done, we're going to take the solutions of clock A, pour it in clock B, and stir. Thank you. until it turns brown. Magic. Isn't that fascinating? Next, here comes the cool part. We're going to deposit clock B, the clock A and clock B mixture, into the thiosulfate. Watch as it disappears before your very eyes. Fascinating, is it? It's not magic, it's chemistry. Alternatively, you can make more clock A and clock B solutions and vary the concentrations of those to produce the same effect. But this one was cooler and provides an easy demonstration for your friends on how chemistry is still magic. Now it's time for the final experiment, experiment 5, appear, disappear, and reappear. Now, if you have solutions left over of clock A and clock B, we can use that to make one final experiment. So to do that, measure out a teaspoon of clock A. Thank you. And pour that into a solo cup. And measure out a teaspoon of clock B. And administer that into the solo cup as well. Next, we stir and watch as it turns into a brown concoction. So now we got it to appear. Next, add another teaspoon of clock B and stir. And we're going to add one more teaspoon of clock B. And as you can see, the more clock B you add, it will eventually start to become invisible again. Because at this point, it will begin to demonstrate a reverse reaction, which means the reaction is going back the opposite direction. The products become the reactants, and the reactants become the product. Thank you for learning with us. Notes. Always wear goggles, aprons, and gloves when dealing with acids and other chemicals. For disposal, slowly pour the chemicals down the drain with a lot of water. Thank you.
It disappeared for a second. That was cool. Now do it again. You see? Press still change up.
And it changes back. Thank you for learning with us.